Hello, everyone. It is me, James Quo, and we're here for a drawing stream. Today we're going to be drawing Sekiro, thanks to a little fun game discussion we had over in the Gal Pals Discord. And give a little shout out to the person in charge of that.
Uh-oh. Shoot. Okay, so do I look at chat or not?
Whoa. Oh, that was a really fun game. So, as you can see, today I have all of my Spider Babby gear on. This is a breakfast dog shirt that she made to go with her secret breakfast that she would host, which were like really fun times in the pre-demic era, and one of the things that I missed the most during hard quarantine. I think she's done a couple of them since then, including like a maid cafe. I've got the Spider Babby hat, one on stream, and all of that is in service of promoting next week's stream. Hopefully, when I get the window capture up, I'll be able to show you guys the poster that I made. It is up on my Discord, so I'm going to give a little Discord link, and you can look in the stream schedule. But I should try to get that image up when we're on here. Discord. Okay, so that's a link to the Quorum Discord where you can join us. Let's see. I feel like that's all the housekeeping we need. Well, yeah. Why don't we go over and do a little drawing? Let's go to the drawing board. For those of you who are trying to watch the stream, there were a few false starts. Just my network was acting crazy, and so I ended up lowering the bitrate, so I would be like putting a little less demand on my stream getting through. So it seems like it's been pretty smooth since then. I'm staying in the green, which is what we like. Just getting out my tools. Whoa. I have to remember that this is an inclined plane, and so my tools will go rolling off if I don't mind them properly. So let's just set these over here. I've got my usual 9x12 sheet of paper. I think last week we did like an 11x14 of General Hende from the young adult graphic novel Squire by Sarah Alfaqui and Nadia Shamas, and that was really fun. But I was super sweating because Sarah herself, the real artist of that book, was in the chat watching me like draw her characters, and it's my first time drawing them, and I hope I did them justice. Anyway, I think I'm back to this usual size from the larger one, just because sometimes working on a larger image, it's just like a little bit of a race to get enough lines down to fill up that whole big area. Oh, Gal says, great warm weather look. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready to go to the beach. It is beautiful out right now, and I got to spend some time with Hen and with my friends over the last few days, doing a little ping pong, which was very, very fun. I am working on getting better. Right now, I'm an enthusiastic player. I wouldn't say that I'm very good, but I am eager to learn. Let's see. So, let me see. I feel like before I get too stuck on this blank sheet, I should just like start moving the pencil and get some lines drawn. So like, yeah, today we're drawing Sekiro, and I think that's the name of the main character, right? Like he's also called Wolf, but Sekiro is like the same thing. Like that's his name. Not like, I mean, I think like in Elden Ring, your main character is not named Elden Ring, but in Sekiro, I think that is the case. It is the only like FromSoft game that I've played, or kind of the only Souls or Souls-like experience that I've tried. And I think I was drawn to it because of the presence of ninjas, which I think it's just like a really fun setting. Definitely a big Naruto fan, so I'm like positively predisposed towards a ninja setting. Let's see. So right now, I'm not even. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that Gal agrees on that. Let's see. I'm not sure if this is really what I'm going to go with. Like right now, he's just like sort of holding a sword. I feel like it's pretty simple because unlike in the other FromSoft games, like there's not a lot of different armors to wear. You don't upgrade a lot of different weapons or pick up a lot of different stuff. I feel like you pretty much look the same from start to finish. So there is like a definitive look to get for this character, and I got to make sure that I have up some references. So I'm opening up my browser, and let me see. Let me just take a look here, and maybe we can look together. Man, is there more network trouble? Hopefully, I'm going to try to keep going with the stream, but if it gets too bad, let me know. Sekiro. So I'm just going to do like a little reference search here. See if I can link this up with my... Okay, I want that, and I'm going to open this. There we go. So this is what I'm looking at. I can change the shape a little bit. So I think the main guy we're drawing here is him. That's like a pretty good picture. So he's got like wraps around his arms here. He's got like a red kind of cloak, kind of loose pants, kind of a belt around here. I can definitely work with this, like a kind of a cool scarf, short pony. He seems like he always has this sort of like gray part on his face. I feel like the opening cutscene explains that, but I feel like the opening cutscene for me was like a very long time ago because I started playing this like 2 years ago when something started to happen in the world, and I would like play and have a really good time, but then occasionally I would get stuck at a boss, and then I'd be like, oh man. Like I would start to like learn what they were doing, and then I'd get like a little bit better each time, and then I'd get really close, but then at like the vital moment I'd just be like struck down where I stood. And then kind of playthroughs like 15 through 20, I would just progressively get worse and worse and worse and just like make more mistakes and just get frustrated. So then I would end up not playing. But a few weeks later, a few months later, I'd be like, oh my god, Sekiro is so fun, let's reinstall it. And then all that time, I think in the back of my head, I was just like marinating on how to get past whomsoever the boss was. And once I played again, sometimes I would just miraculously beat them the first time, which felt great. And so that's why I keep playing. Oh, you know what? Sometimes like something like this, like when you can see like a toy or figure of it, that gives you like a really clear picture of what the full outfit is like. So I think I'm going to look at that. And that's enough, or I'm going to turn off this reference. Well, I think in the opening cutscene, you face off against Ashina Genichiro, and he's your very evil yet very hot rival. And I remember SFD was hanging out over at my house, and we were playing Sekiro together, and we found this very hot rival, and she was like, oh, I love that for him. Like I love that for you, that you have such a person in your life. Okay. I mean, it's tough because it's one of those battles in a game where you're supposed to lose. Like, you start out and you just face this very difficult opponent, and you keep like wondering like, man, I can't beat this guy. But then you figure out, oh, I see, I'm supposed to lose, and then the story progresses. It's not my favorite mechanic. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there must be another way to get some exposition or like set up the story than that. Oh, getting worse after more tries. Yeah, there was definitely like a peak where I was getting closer and then trailing off. Yeah, I think that was my signal usually to take a break. But, the length of your break may vary. Okay. So I think one of the really fun things about this game is your like grappling arm. So I might try to show like here's his arm. Oh, Hen in the Woods Mushroom is here. Good to see you. So let's see. I guess the thing is, I don't want him to be like too small in the picture. I don't know. I feel like this first part of the stream is always the struggle where I try to figure out like what kind of picture I want this to be. So let me see. Maybe I was off to a good start. Like it could be good to be more like less of an actiony picture and more of like a kind of contempt. Like he's thinking about the sort of ninja feelings that he has. I could do some like dramatic lighting. So there's Sekiro's face. He has like a cool big scarf. Make sure I get that on camera. So which arm is... I don't think this spoils anything, but pretty early on he has like a robot arm implanted or whatever the equivalent of that era would be. I guess I feel like the term robot goes back pretty far, but some sort of mechanical, we could say that. I think that's his left arm, so maybe... I don't know, I'm kind of imagining a scene. I feel like there's a part in the 1980, I always forget if it's 88 or 86, but the cyberpunk anime classic Akira, where maybe you guys remember this. Like, here's Tetsuo, and he just like lost his arm from being shot by the satellite laser by the colonel, and he's like standing atop like a heap of effing rubble. I almost forgot my swearing policy. And he sort of like psychically summons up all this garbaggio and sort of like reassembles an arm here. And he's just like sort of looking at it and thinking about his teenage life. Maybe I'll do something similar because it's both like a, they both have like an arm replacement. Could be. Oh my god, my stream did die twice. Credit to Gal for that. Let's see. So this is, and oh my god, and Tetsuo does have sort of also like a ragged kind of capey scarf thing. So I think we're in familiar territory. I mean, I could just like alter this to be our ninja friend, but the thing is, I think I also have to swap arms. Oh, Hen of the Woods just got back. Great. Oh, may I ask, what flavor bread is it this week? Because usually we've been doing this bread share, and alternating weeks it'll be, some sort of like fancy kind of bread with maybe things on it or things in it. And then other weeks it'll be like bread flavored bread, which is great. Okay. I wish I could find that brush that I usually use to get rid of crumbles. I feel like I didn't find it last week either, but I'll do some excavation around here and see if I can pick it up. Okay. How many times have I started over this drawing? Like, is this attempt 5? I feel like this is kind of close to what I was starting with at the very beginning. So I think he's just going to be like contemplating his hand here. I think that's where I'm going to start. Do I like that? Not sure. Like, I mean, the good thing is we'll get to see this sort of like ashen part of his face, which is cool. And then we could do some like the light source could be some fires like back over here. Oh, it is bread flavored this week. Excellent. Let's see. So then I think his sword. I'm trying to figure out how his sword like attaches. It looks like there's like a little harness that goes around his shoulder, and then the handle would come up here. And then I feel like katana handles usually have some sort of like woven crisscross thing like that. Wonder if I could put like some sort of like enemy up here. Like there is, I feel like there's a snake that appears at some point. So maybe I'll put that here. Or, oh no, maybe I could put some other like regular kind of enemies. Because I feel like when you start out, it's mostly like people and things sort of get progressively spookier. Yeah, we could put some like kind of foot soldiers that you would see early on. See, maybe this guy. Maybe there's like a spear haver and like a sword haver. I feel like I like these other guys more than I like the main figure. Maybe, let me think. Because also it doesn't kind of make sense that he's just like looking over here while these other people are rushing him. Like that's like a quick way for your game to be over. I mean, one thing that I could do, put this brush away, is we could also like see him from the back. And this would kind of make sense. Oh, you saw the snake already? I kind of like was like, oh god, did I put my foot in my mouth? Because I'm trying to not say spoilers. And I was like, but this, and I accidentally said snake. And so I took that out and put some regular guys in. But I'm glad you already got to the snake. Crawling through that valley while that thing is chasing you, it was like too much. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe instead of what I started with, oh, hen of the woods mushroom. The problem with like a regular snake would not be a problem, but this is like a kind of like a colossal snake. It's like yeah, it's like the size of the like Excella Northeast Regional like express train. So since this is a game, I feel like we spend most of our time like looking at the back of his head. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this drawing. because then it'll be even more recognizable as Sekiro. And since let's see. I'm trying to think. He doesn't really. I kind of drew him doing this like reverse grip on the sword, which I don't think he really does. But I may do it just for the compositional purposes. Because if the sword is pointing upward, it's going to like cross one of these things, or like. But maybe that's all right. I feel like I shouldn't deviate too much. And I also shouldn't worry about like overlapping things, because that's really a good thing. Like it'll help make the drawing be more convincing that we're kind of like going like back in space as we look through this. I wonder if I could put like another. So now I've got all this space down here. I could put like some other kind of enemies that are trying to get Wolf like over this way. We'd just be like seeing the back of his head, and he's got like a sword. Maybe that would be his left hand, so he could be left-handed. And then maybe this could be over his shoulder like that. I'm still figuring this out. I'm still getting like unstable stream notice, but hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Okay, so let me see. I'm just going through my reference looking for like a back view. Right, there we go. There's a pretty good back. All right. Yeah, so we should be able to, we should see his like scarf here, and then it looks like his harnesses sort of make an X on his back. And then he has his like red coat. And then I think to show that he's in motion, these sort of like coattails are going to sort of like go flying up like this. Let's see. Then this is one leg, and I think we'll see the bottom of this foot. And then this calf is sort of like foreshortened away from us. I don't know, I feel like I'm trying to squeeze too much into this corner, so I should let that go off a little bit. Because it looks like I'm sort of adjusting his pose too much to like squeeze inside the panel or the frame, whereas I should. I don't know, wait, do I have this wrong? I'm just trying to like get like the twisting of his body, right? Like this is like this. Yeah, I think this leg doesn't even go here, so that'll get around my question. I think, yeah, like maybe this other. Now it's definitely conflicting with this other guy's hand. I'm giving myself a lot to draw. This is already like 4 different guys. Let's see. Okay, so his kind of his sort of butt is right there. So I feel like if you're doing like a mighty leap, one of your legs might kind of like your knee would bend fully, and then like your leg would kind of back up into there, right? Then this has like all sort of wraps around it. And it looks like sort of like woven sandals. So I'll just sort of make like a checkerboard on the bottom of this foot. Now I feel like a lot of this should be in shadow. Okay, and then this other leg I think is just going to go off. Might be kind of good. I'm thinking instead of just seeing the total back of his head, he could be. Since this character is here, he might be kind of like eyeing, like he's rushing forward this way, but then Like he's also kind of like looking down here. So let's put his nose in. And we'll sort of see him more in a profile, which means I have to move this like this top knot, put that kind of back here. I was trying to think about where this sword should go. I mean, I could also move this character if it's causing too much trouble. Like what I could do is, let me think. Let me adjust that. All right, so I'm just trying to like figure out a pose that feels like natural. So here's his, like the mass of his torso. I might adjust this leg or not. Anyway, what I'm saying is maybe I'll put this arm more back. Like this is coming back towards us. And then his elbow bends here. So now, see, I like this a lot better. Because now this sword is like kind of pointing the same direction that he's running. Because before it was sort of tripping me up because he's running this way, the sword's pointing that way, and it's really like I'm not helping myself out. This way, I feel like the elements are working more together. So we love that. Okay. Okay, let's see. So now that like I moved the shoulder from here to here, I do need to like sort of adjust the rest of the back. Like his spine would be more like there. And even though this is all going to get sort of like covered with loose flowing robes, like I do need to know where stuff is in order to get them to hang and move properly. Okay. All right, I think this is a good moment for me to pause and do a little stretch. Okay, I think I can also, let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this quickly. I'm going to my desktop. I'm looking in my Evangelion folder, if I can find it. Okay, and then here we go. See if I can bring that over. Okay, so we're going to open up my window capture again, because I just want to show you guys this poster I made. There's well, there's me and Mickey. Let me just get this off of my face cam. There we go. Yeah, there's Mickey, there's me. We're going to have a drawing contest next week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's definitely like a friendly competition. I think I've been pretty solid with Mickey for, God, about 15 years, I think. Like, I think if someone really were my foe, I don't think that I could have like a nice drawing contest with them because it would actually get too heated. But I think there's a good level of trust and understanding with me and Mickey where we're not really out to get each other for real. And we can just like have a good time drawing. So I spent kind of the afternoon drawing this, so I'm going to just leave that up for a second. And then I think I also have the rule set. So let me switch over to that. Yeah. So the deal is we're going to do 10 different rounds, and no, 7 different rounds, plus bonus, 10 minutes each. And users in chat will do the poll and see which one they like better. And then that will be how it's decided. Okay. I was glad to plug that. Let me put this away and continue with the drawing. So let's see. I think we're almost, I mean, if I'm feeling very adventurous, I could start inking this from here. Even though it does look super loose. Like these guys back here are not like developed at all. Am I getting like, I feel like I keep getting too many error messages. Ugh. I don't know. Should I keep going? Because I feel like this keeps messing up. Maybe like are other streams on Twitch having the same problem? Let me see if I could like look at something else. Because I feel like internet has been like totally fine for me all day, but like now that I'm streaming, it's like being really difficult.
This brush that I'm using.
Like I'm looking at another Twitch stream, it seems fine. So my bitrate's still in the red, and it's also like super delayed. Anyway, I feel like I gotta continue. I'm gonna keep going. You know what? I think I am gonna start inking. Because like a lot of this, I feel like they look pretty. These guys are going to be pretty ragged, so I could kind of improvise a lot of this. Yeah, you know what? We're going to start inking in like record time, except for when I've done no pencil drawing. So let's move on to the next stage. Oh, Hen, I did draw that this afternoon, but I mean, it's based on a well-known image from that series. Like, there's an episode where Shinji and Asuka have I guess it's not a contest, but like usually they butt heads a lot. And so in this mission, they're kind of made to work together and they train by dancing. And there's like an image of them from that episode where they're on the rooftop and they're like both listening to the same like earbuds. Let me see. Hopefully, when we have that stream a week from today, we won't have any of these network errors because it's a little stressful. Here we go. Well, right now, network-wise, it does seem to be like a little bit better. So I think I am going to keep drawing because I would like to finish this drawing anyway. But I know it's like no fun to try to watch a stream that keeps like conking out. Okay, so let's get out my. Where's my G pen? I just had it. Yeah, I'm going to draw with this guy. So, as I usually do, I like to zoom in the camera a bit for inks. So let's bring it in like 250%. Cool. I feel like I'm just going to like start on this scarf that he has, because that's kind of like a nice, kind of loose bit of drawing that I don't need to be too exact with. Let's see. And then these lines on his sort of like leather harness that keeps his like swords on. Let me see. I got to make sure to look at my reference so I don't go too far from what he's meant to look like. Okay. I feel like he has these guards on the back of his hand, and usually, I mean, I'm kind of going to that spot because I also like to begin with drawing whatever is sort of like closest to the viewer when inking. So also these sort of like wraps that he has around his forearms are like super useful for showing what's happening in the picture because they do sort of like follow this form around and you can really see how it goes back. Okay. So then I think once you get to the elbow, it kind of becomes this sort of like loose kind of coarse fabric. And then sort of torn at the shoulder. Let me see. So there's like the butt of his hand. I feel like I'm drawing like maybe a little faster than I usually do, just because I'm kind of thinking about next week and how I'll only have like 10 minutes to do each drawing. But also, I think the other option that I almost went with for this session would have been sort of like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. Sort of like a spontaneous kind of like no pencil ink drawing. So I feel like out of the streams that I've done, the one that I'm the proudest of was the like Tiger Lunar New Year special, and that one I didn't pencil at all, and so we kind of skipped the whole first hour of struggle, and the drawing kind of turned out, in my view, one of the better ones. So I have been like looking at just sort of like pulling things out of my head and getting directly to ink without like a lot of like fussing and reworking, and sometimes it can seem like a little livelier. I'm trying to think if I could like show this off. Well, now that I was trying to talk about it, oh, here we go. Like, let me see. Like yesterday, I was just like drawing, kind of with no plan, and I kind of drew this like cafe scene, and there's like some patrons up here, some people like kind of sitting at a counter and drawing, and they've got their drinks. Maybe this person has like a boba. There's like a little cafe table here, like some little birds. Here's like a pedestrian walking in from the rain. I think this is like maybe a newspaper stand. I think I was just like thinking that I haven't really been in a cafe for 2 years because we're being like pretty strict about COVID stuff still. And I think I was just like pulling out like all my sort of like vivid memories of like what being in a cafe could be like. So I was thinking of maybe like doing a little bit of spontaneous drawing like this. Oh, and I think I had to like add a tiger just because apparently that's like what I can draw best without planning. So in a future stream, it could have been today, but I would like to do kind of stuff more like that. We'll see. But for now, I think we're going to stick to this sort of like kind of normal character sketch that I like to do. Okay, let me think. So I think this part should be gloved. And then these 3 fingers need to like wrap around the handle of the sword. And then I feel like usually the index would be like a little bit separate. I'm just gonna like sort of like draw these little diamond shapes that will suggest these sort of like weave around that handle. Okay, so then let me think. Finger goes under there. Trying to like describe the texture of this little plate here. And then there should be like a handguard, but I don't think it's like a big rectangle like that. I think it would just be like a little oval. So let me get that in quickly. All right. So let me think. Katanas are usually curved, so how am I going to draw this? I think it's going to be easier if I could pull the line down this way. Okay. I was thinking about doing like another line down here. I'm kind of wondering if I should start like incorporating like some speed lines. I think it's a good idea. So from like sort of like the back edge, I could start pulling off from what I've already done. Let's see. To figure out how to draw. This is definitely one of the like tougher angles to draw the back of an ear from. Like if you're drawing an ear from the front, you could just do like a curve with like the number 5 inside of it. But if you have another person near you and you kind of like look at the back of their head, sort of 3/4 view, trying to like figure out this like ear shape, how it like tucks into itself and then comes back out. One of the more complex curves on the head. Okay. I have to figure out how to draw this sort of like ashen part on the side of his head. It probably means that I'll have to like hatch in a lot of this around that and then like leave some white area up here. But I feel like what I kind of want to have in between here would be like a cauldron with some like logs in it that are lit up, and it's sort of like getting knocked over in this melee. And so then like all the like everything in this picture will be sort of like lit from here. And so this is going to be like shadow on the back, kind of shadow on here, etc. And then these guys will be sort of uplit since this is below them. This is going to be like pretty dark up here too. So yeah, let me think about how to draw this. What's another word? Cauldron is such a weird word. Maybe like brazier? I see that word written down, but I'm never sure how to pronounce it. So this is getting spilled. Let's draw some like legs of it that are tipping over. And then here are some like kind of like short wooden logs that are spilling out. I feel like these I could put in like pretty dark. Like I'll probably get out a brush and do some like heavy lines on that. Why don't I do that right now while I'm thinking about it? I can even use this kind of like ragged brush because I do want the lines to be a little messy. This is kind of like the benefit of keeping a lot of your art supplies and not throwing them away even when they're like a little bit worn out, because they can sort of like graduate to a different purpose. And Hen and I are lucky enough to live in a house with a fireplace. And one really nice thing that we notice on the logs is as they're burning, they tend to like sort of separate into like a bunch of like rectangular like chunks or like pieces. Almost looks like a little bit like brickwork or something. And I'm leaving these gaps in between to show that there's like sort of a high contrast like bright light coming out from in between them. Oh, that's very funny. Hunt in the Woods Mushroom saying brazier instead of. I mean, I don't know how often that word came up in readings, but I mean, whenever we would read out loud in class, I was definitely at the front of the line for wanting to do that. Even though being somewhat reserved at other times, I think having the opportunity to be like a ham, or I suppose that was like an early era of voice acting. Like, that was always something that I did enjoy. Okay. I'm going to draw a couple more of these. Maybe one up this way. And then I think just some sort of like chaotic lines like that to show this is sort of like bursting out. Okay. And then this brush is like splitting. You see that? How it's like kind of in two or more kind of pieces. So it's kind of nice to draw sometimes like mechanical stuff, or like, I don't know if mechanical is the right word, but at least like artificial stuff, like the legs on this thing, because it would make sense for them to be sort of parallel. And this is kind of like a good shortcut to that. Okay. So I feel like I've made a good step of like figuring out where that light is coming from. And I can also like use this to do like some dry brushing. But I do need to, I think before I get too much into this, it's kind of in like a good spot right now where there's like 2% of the ink left on here. I can like sort of use this to smudge all this back area. Okay. Let's put that away for now. So let's draw his top knot. I feel like when I made the command decision to sort of skip ahead and not do these guys, these sort of like foot soldier enemies in too much detail, it was, since in the game they're just mostly naked, I feel like they have like a loincloth, maybe, some of your enemies. So I think that's who we're going to be drawing. So let's see, the tails of his little, I don't know, his kind of jacket are flying up as he is flying forward. So let me just show that. You know, I feel like they would be going, I think I'm going to put them behind the sword. It could be rippling out this way, very dramatic. It's always nice to find elements like that. Like sometimes it could be like a person's hair, or like a person's scarf, or a person's coat. that's like flapping dramatically in the wind. And here we've got all three. We've got like hair, scarf, and coat. So lots of good opportunities for drama. I feel like that's something that I try to like look for in an art piece, like just like which thing could I emphasize on here to make this like a more exciting work. I feel like I might have picked that up from reading the book length interview called Hitchcock Truffaut, where the French New Wave director like sat down for interviews with Alfred Hitchcock about all of his films, like in order, and he kind of like gives an incredible rundown of like all the movies he made and like all the choices he made and why. And it's like, even though like movies and drawing are very different, like a lot of the thinking about sort of like narrative storytelling is very useful to someone like me. And I think Hitchcock would talk about like shooting in a certain location, and there's like, oh, there's like lots of great rooftops to climb on. There's lots of good like cliffs to fall off of. So I think that mode of just like looking for opportunities in something and like what you can push for dramatic sake is something I picked up from there. Okay. Okay, so let me think. I'm kind of doing these wrinkle lines along the curve of these legs. So you can kind of see I curve these this way just to show that leg's forward, and then I curve these this way just to show they're coming back. Let's see. I feel like I could get, once I get rid of this pencil, I feel like I could get more dry brush on here. A lot of wolf appears to be in place. So I do want to go like work on these other enemies. So here's a hand, and he's like gripping a sword handle. Okay. Trying to think, wait, trying to remember on a katana, like, I think the end goes like that. Right. I'm just gonna quickly look up Sekiro enemies just so I can get like a little closer. And Sekiro guards. Oh well, I feel like I don't need to look up too much, because it's just basically like a sweaty guy holding a sword. And I do not myself own a sword, but occasionally I have been a sweaty guy, so I can see that when I need to. Okay, here we go. I think this guy is a spear haver, so let me... These are the different knuckles, and the spear is like here. But then the other hand is holding it like that. Okay. Well, it's getting closer and closer to sweaty season. I think like right now, like this week, it's just like 60, 70 degrees outside. Like we have a Yoshino cherry tree out back that's blooming. And it's just like gorgeous and like a pleasure to be alive. But it's kind of like the 1 week in New England that gets you. That really seems like paradise, because then the rest of it, it's like super sweaty or like super freezing. But Right now is like the perfect time. Okay, let's see. I feel like I gotta figure out a good expression for these guys. Because I feel like they don't really have any like personal. Oh, the kids you babysit say "soward." That's very cute. Like I feel like these guys don't really have any like personal issue with Wolf or Sekiro. I guess either one is his name. Like they're kind of on guard duty just as their job. Or I don't know if they're like conscripts. I don't know. Maybe they like sorting people. But I feel like I'm putting like a little bit of like upsettedness in this expression. And he also has hair flying back. Lots of sweat beads. I feel like I mean, it could be that he's like joined in like guard duty because he just like. I mean, you got to eat something, so I'm gonna draw him like looking like a little bit thinner. Here's his other hand, as maybe he's like realizing the error of his ways in this engagement. Okay, and there's like a little like loincloth for him. His other shoulder. I feel like, oh wait. At first I had confused myself about what this other shape was, but it's totally the back of a guy's head. Oh yeah, there's definitely like, I think in this game, when you lose your posture, which is, I don't know, just your ability to keep things together. Like you have too many sword deflects, and then you're like, oh, I'm out of posture, so I can't really engage with this anymore. You get this like red glow around you, and then the main character can just like move in and do what Gal says, which is a death blow. Oh, Ray Louie is here. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I've just got on all my like cool dog gear, like my spider babby hat, my breakfast dog shirt, because I'm just trying to promote next week. I mean, I don't think I can wear stuff like this with Mickey sitting right next to me, because like who am I really rooting for next week? Let's see his, and then he could have this foot going back, and then I think he'd be wearing sandals. So let's just put his toes out here. Let me think. Yeah, his kind of areas here, so the other leg comes down. I think I need to work on some of this more before I add more of that. But let's work on spear having guy. Yeah, I feel like I added that timer about height because I feel like people seem to be so interested in the height of different streamers. And also people like to say heights that are not strictly true, or there's like some humor in exaggerating how tall people are. So I was just like setting the record straight before people get that wrong. Oh, I know, Hen. Secret breakfast. We did get to go to one over December, and it was delightful. So let me think. I feel like a spear would usually have some sort of loose thing here, like maybe some feathers or I don't know, ribbons or something. And then the blade comes out. I'm just going to have this go off the top rather than trying to squeeze that in. This also looks like not perfectly straight. There's his thumb. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm working on making all these guys sort of like a little bit wiry. Well, I think it wasn't really a potluck. I think it was more like, well, it is secret breakfast, so I don't know that we should spill all of Mickey's secrets. But she's like a really incredible breakfast chef. Chef. Um, yeah, Mickey. Yeah, if you were a guest, you were not there cooking. You were just enjoying the company of all your friends, and also Mickey, especially. Yeah, exactly. Hen of the Woods is really on point describing secret breakfast. No, the secrets are. I think it's going to be all right. The best was I guess what Mickey would call magic rice, which I think was instead of using water, she would use coconut milk. Is that right, Hen? Okay, let's see. This is going all right. Yeah, hopefully this situation we're in will improve and we can have more secret breakfast. But also, I guess with the nicer weather, there's the option of like outdoor table, which I think we did when we went there, even though there were like 16 inches of snow on the ground. I think you and me, Hen, were like standing outside of Cool Dog's place with like our plates, and then like steam rising off of our coffees as we kind of huddled together with our gloves, having our secret breakfast in the snow. But definitely worth it to see everybody. I've got to figure out this character down here. Um, I may even erase him and rework it a little bit. Let me think. Because I was about to like tilt his shoulder that way, but that's like too much. Like, right, I'm kind of like looking at like the flow of the image, and really, the the straight lines on these like swords and spears kind of like lead us down this way. So I think I kind of want to continue that sort of like, I don't know, like shoots and ladders effect and sort of like have this turn this way. It's almost so your eye can kind of fall down here like a marble run. Like you would kind of like fall down, plink off of here, bounce off it, roll down this way. The little marble of your vision would fall off of this cloak, land on here, and then like fall down the bottom of the image. I feel like I've never really conceived of it that way, but it does sort of make sense. So I think this guy, I feel like this guy may already have got. So he's not holding a sword or anything. He's already been dispatched. So we might see. Can you kind of tell what's happening? Like this would be the inside roof of his mouth. There's like the underside of the jaw, underneath of the nose. Ear like that. And I feel like these guys still have their top knots, but I feel like I'm gonna have, he is shaved. I feel like he would still be like shaved on the front, but then the rest of this hair could be like going out wild. Maybe I'll give him like a little, I don't know, I'm trying to decide if this guy should have like a little bit of clothing. Maybe not. Let me think. Is this way? Okay. I think I figured it out. So you could see like a few vertebrae here. There's like, what do you call that? Like the clavicle? No, this is clavicle. That's a scapula. Yeah, like the shoulder blades are like here. Well, I guess that's the nice thing about wearing a tank top on stream, which is if you need to like check how something looks, you can just like look at the face cam for reference. Okay, so this is here. Yeah, this guy's just having a bad time because this is the last time he'll have. All right, so this hand goes up like that. Oh my god, this poor guy. Okay. Is there, maybe I should add some more dudes up here? I have time, we're really only an hour in. I'm just like losing my lead here. I think I had sort of like tipped this off a table and it sort of like broke internally, but not in a way that I could see. And so I do need right now this edge is like very sharp and I just need to like do something to smooth this down a little bit. I'm just trying to like blunt these edges a little bit. Okay, that's good. Back to drawing. I feel like I could ink. Oh no, I was drawing some guys up here. Yeah, I mean, if I just kind of indicate what I mean, I could fill that in pretty quickly with ink. Let's go for it. Let's just jam on these guys. And this is definitely like a situation, sort of like back to gameplay tips and tricks. I feel like if you're in a situation like this in Sekiro, you may have made a tactical error. Because I have found it's usually unwise to engage with more than one enemy at a time, and that maybe a sneakier approach would benefit Wolf. Like if I were surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sweaty dudes, I feel like discretion would be the better part of valor in the situation, and he should make like a brief retreat. I feel like I can be pretty loose and not too detailed with these guys. There is going to be like a lot of this sort of like smudgy brush effect up here because it's like far enough away from this light source that this is going to be pretty indistinct. Yeah, just P Hospital's here. Nice to see you. We're just doing like a little Sekiro image. And kind of like true to gameplay, we're viewing our main character from behind as they sort of run into this world. Ooh, as I hit the camera, just to smooth that out. See, this guy could be like holding his sword with like two hands and then sort of like pointing up this way, which is going to be sort of like a nice lead in, like sort of down this way towards, like it'll sort of like create a line with this hair. I'm not sure. I feel like I haven't yet decided whether this will be a color piece or not. And I feel like if it is a color piece, it might be sort of like a limited color, like using only like one or two. Like I might use like just red or like just like reds and oranges, like a very like limited palette, not like a full palette, which I think would also, which would be I think dramatic, but also kind of makes sense if this is a nighttime scene and we're like by this fire. So there's sort of like in-universe reasons to do it and like out-universe like drawing reasons to do it. And it's always, I think, successful when those two can line up. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I just got to get a bunch of guys in because I do want to do like a more finished job on this guy. So these guys, I should just go like fast, fast, fast. Because they'll all sort of, I mean, in a way, like if I do a bunch of like loose and fast lines like this, and it's fairly repetitive, that like this will sort of like meld into like one sort of like unit or like kind of just like a wall of guys. Like we'll understand that all these represent people and we don't have to like kind of change that thought when we're scanning across there. I don't know. Okay, here we go. So I'm drawing these guys like a little smaller back here just to show how deep this line of enemies is. And these guys can get like really loose, like really almost like, okay. I feel like that's enough of that. I do want to go down and work on this sort of quadrant. So we're seeing like the underside of his nose. So I'm just going to put that in. These lines sort of represent like where his like cheekbone kind of pulls back. I'm just kind of making him like pretty unhappy looking. Okay, let's see. Then all this hair is kind of going wild. Adam's apple. Do like a little diamond for the armpit there. It's definitely like, I feel like of the things that are difficult to draw, human back is up there. And so then let me think. So this arm is reaching forward. And I feel like I am kind of getting away with being like a little loose on here because I do want this figure to be more, I don't know, like a little bit expressionistic. Okay, here we go. Kind of just ran into, I feel like I should not have let this finger touch the point of that. I need to like, I could put that, instead of trying to move it away, I could just move it more towards and like commit to that being over here. Middle finger, ring finger, then all these like sort of tendons on the back of his hand would be like stressed. Oh my god. I feel like this is kind of a little bit how I felt when I like first started playing the game. Because I feel like a lot of the time I like to play cute and colorful stuff, and so I wasn't used to like how graphic it was when you dispatch even with simple enemies. And so like it took me a very long time to even get through the first game area, just because I would kind of jump whenever I had like successfully defeated an enemy. There we go. Let's see. I think we're good. I want to draw some of the weave on the bottom of this sandal. Oh, Oh, Gay Dog is here? Oh yeah, sorry about the links. I think there was a while when we were having trouble with like bots asking if we wanted to buy followers, and I had like shut that off. And I feel like I had at some point changed that back so people could do links. But I haven't been able to really like fix that. Oh, good workaround. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get this. A lot of the line work is done. I could definitely do like a lot of hatching, but before I get there, I want to get some more dry brush in. So let me see. I need to just clean off this pen. Okay, so I'm just gonna like start filling in some black area, and then as like eventually my brush will run out of ink, and that's when I'll be able to like get that like nice smudging, which is now. Let me see. I feel like probably the closest image that I've done to this so far would have been the Jiko the monk like campfire picture. Like I think very similar in treatment, like sort of like an intense light source near the middle, and then like with like a surrounding darkness, and then like using like either I don't think I did any dry brush in that one, but I definitely did a lot of cross hatching. So let me see. I'm just like thinking about the curvature of this butt as I move these ink lines around it, and then curve this way. This is so basically I'm looking at like where this fire is in the middle, and anything that's like away from here, I'm like putting black ink on. And then I'm also kind of like using these sort of very loose brush shapes like this, and I'm basically just like pointing them towards the middle. And it's a way that sort of like functions the same as speed lines, like you might see in manga. Like it's sort of like directing the attention back to the middle. Oh man, this poor guy. Okay, a lot of this can go to black. I'm wondering a little bit like how much picture is even going to be left when I get all this ink on here. Yeah. And then I could, if I really want to, right now I feel like I am just like filling in a lot of this black area like around these characters. And then I can sort of like, with what's left, sort of like hatch. Like after this stage, I'm gonna like probably get out my Mario pen. Which is this guy, and just like sort of adjust or like kind of feather in those dark areas a bit more. Okay, let's see. Definitely want, I'm gonna put a lot of black area around like the back of this head to sort of like separate it from everything. Because I feel like Sekiro's face should be like a big part or like one of the main focal points. Okay. I'm also kind of like using this to adjust the negative space, just to like sort of slim this guy down a little bit. Okay, let's see. I feel like this is it was like hard for me to see at first, but now that I'm getting more ink down, I'm starting to understand how this night scene works. And also, a thing about this is that like these guys would be sort of casting shadows onto each other. Like if the light is here and he's here, they'll be like blocking the light from this guy. And like this spear would kind of cast a shadow like right across like that. This is Yeah, I feel like this is like I have like a much older laptop, so I have to like run Sekiro on pretty basic settings. And so like self-shadowing is like something that I can't do when I'm playing, but I can do it in a drawing. Okay. Yeah, I think just getting more ink onto this picture is really going to help me. Oh my god. Oh, I just saw Gay Dog's chat about the sweet potato fries. Oh, definitely like. Are those fries that you made yourself? Because, like there is like that new source uh of fries like that downtown where Hen and I have been enjoying greatly. The Chiruma Tea Bar. Okay, I feel like that's an. Well, this brush is doing really well right now, so I'm just going to add some more dry brushing. Okay, I almost want to. I'm going to switch to hatching for a little bit, so let me see. I think that this will really help. I guess the thing about like the brushwork is that it is pretty chaotic, and it may not look that controlled, but I feel like getting in with a small pen like this and kind of going over some of these shapes, like right now I'm kind of like hitting all these sort of like tops of things because they would be uplit. Not to be confused with supplit, but like we can probably like really see it on this guy. Like the tops of his cheekbones here, top of the bridge of his nose, like his whole forehead, like the tops of his like chest. Basically, like anything that's further away from this is getting like a few lines. Like this whole top of his arm. Let me figure out how to do this. I feel like I'm getting a little lamp glare. Let me just move that a little bit. And I feel like for these guys in the back, I can just like hatch over them just to like put them further into the shadow and like make them a little more indistinct. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the rest of the stream is going to be like this. Like I'm just sort of like adjusting these tones. Okay, let's see. So I am like adding these lines to make it darker, but this is also like a way to add like a little bit of information about the texture. Okay, let's see. I feel like I'm just looking around, I'm kind of scanning over the image to see how much, if there's any just like pools of ink sitting on the top, because one thing that will help me is if I can get out my eraser and get rid of a lot of this graphite so I can really tell what I've got. Okay, let's see. Another reason about like using these lines versus using like that sort of dry brush is like I'm using it on these characters a lot, or like places that I want to direct attention, because I feel like whenever there's more detail in a drawing, that's like another thing that will be more sort of like eye-catching. I need to like darken his harness here. I'm going to put like a lot more sort of like dense lines over this. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I feel like it would be a good time. A lot of this feels pretty dry to me, so I am going to go over it with eraser and reveal a lot of what I've got. Oh, Gay Dog is saying it has a great sense of movement. I'm happy about that because that is one of the goals. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I feel like that really kind of brings out the glow of the middle. Because I'm definitely, in this like brightest part, there's no dry brushing. It's like very high contrast. And there's also going to be no hatching. So there's no like middle tone. And I really like went pretty far outside the lines here. So that is one thing to clean up with my correction fluid. So I have that ready. Yeah, I think I wasn't really planning it as a summertime fit, just as a like Cool Dog Mickey's Achilles promotional outfit. And I guess that's just sort of how it worked out, because Mickey is also maybe the like funnest person around. All right, here we go. Yeah. I'm already kind of like liking this a lot better, because for a while it was looking kind of indistinct. But now I can like tell a little more about what I'm doing here. And it looks like I forgot a couple of fingers, so I'll take care of that. Oh, well put, P Hospital. Oh, summer's the Mickey of seasons. All right, so let me just clean this up a little bit. Well, I mean, Rhode Island summer is itself very fun. But if you're like lucky enough to spend that time with Cool Dog, then you've really got something. I'm just like kind of cleaning up all these edges where, like, I never want to hold back when I'm getting towards the end of a picture. Like when I make a brush line, I just want it to go like right off. And then I can like totally just clean this up like I'm doing right now. Okay, that's doing good. I feel like I will add a little bit of color to this. Like I have my tray of watercolors right here. I think it would kind of, I think it would add a dimension. Okay. So I'm kind of just like filling in this whole character dark, just to like, right now, the way this guy kind of grabs way more attention than the main part of the image, which is Wolf. So I'm kind of sending a lot of this back. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I think I'm liking this better. Okay, let's see. We can add like a little more detail on this guy. I feel like this character and this character should have like the most sort of details on them, since they're like kind of closest to us and they're like the best lit. I feel like I'm pretty happy with the motion and composition. Like I feel like you sort of get directed around this image in a few different ways. I do want to like finish up with this before I proceed. Okay. So let's see. I feel like one kind of fun thing for me on this stream is just sort of like watching like at different points during the 2 or 3 hours, like I feel like the drawing will sort of like get better and get worse and get better and worse, and just like sort of like taking risks and like maybe doing something that might not work, but then like sort of like figuring out how to like reel it back in or like bring it back to something that I'm happy with. Here we go. And a lot of these I'm just sort of like directing inward, like it's still trying to show more like radiance from here. I should add like a little bit of that down in this corner also. Oh yeah, did you step away for a minute? We're just sort of like I was kind of comparing this drawing to that Jiko the monk drawing, which I think is set up in a similar way with like a strong light source down here, and then everyone is sort of like lit by that. And I think we're just about to get to the color stage. I think we're going to have like a pretty tight gamut. Like we're going to stay away from your blues and greens and mostly stick to your kind of red-orange end of the color wheel. Okay. Yeah, I think it's time. All right, so I'm going to zoom out so we can see the whole thing at once. Let's see. Okay, where is my webcam software? Okay, we're going to 100% zoom. I'm also going to knock up the saturation, so the colors should really pop out. So there's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, there's Wolf kind of like leaping into battle with all these different guys. Okay, so let me just show my color slide. Color. So I think I was saying gameplay-wise earlier, if you ever run into a situation like this, Gal, it would be wise to head the other direction and just like try to re-engage everybody one at a time. Okay. Getting my... Oh, this was the menu from Taiwan Noodle in Albany, New York, when I drove out for MomCon. I'm just giving myself like a little mental breather before the next stage. But man, this was like such a treat to find and totally unexpected. And on my way, actually, I went there on the way back too, because I stopped in Ithaca for ZoeCon. Let me see if I can find a little picture of ZoeCon, because I was like really happy to be able to get to do that. Let me look for my, I know they're up on my Twitter, so let me go take a little digression. So let me point my window capture over to Chrome. Where is that? Chrome. No? Is that not working? Please bear with me for a second. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there's a picture of ZoeCon. I mean, Zoe's not here to do the other half of the heart, but I'm doing it now in spirit. If Zoe's out there watching right now, they could do like a little half heart in the air, or you viewers at home could like complete the heart if you wish to. So that was a really lovely meeting. And what else do we have? And then that was just me when I was like looking for Zoe, like about 2 minutes earlier. But really lovely friend, really lovely visit. And a friend I wouldn't have found without Twitch. So that's one of the good reasons to be on here. Okay, put that away. Let's color. And I need brushes. Okay. Warm color brush. Okay, so let me just, yeah, I'm gonna definitely like stick to this end of the palette and stay away from down here. Oh, the bagel thing, I feel like it was fun to make a big deal about it on the Gal Pals Discord, but really I think we ordered one after each other in line. We, you know, and I think the counter people had just like put one bagel in the other bag, but it was totally fine because it was just like Zoe had a sesame bagel with cream cheese and I had an everything bagel with cream cheese. So really, no big problem. So yeah, I'm just gonna like, as I chat, just like start getting this down here. I mean, I did miss having, like, what else is on there? Like, the like toasted onion and garlic and like sesame seeds and black sesame seeds that you get with an everything bagel. And the problem with eating them though is that all those toppings from your bagel tend to like fall off and scatter all over the table. And I'm usually like, what is this? An everywhere bagel? Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I feel like this color session should be pretty short because I would also like to get outside before dark. Okay. Now let me see. Grab some more red. Oh. Oh. Yeah, Gal, I'm glad you enjoyed the bagel joke. That is like one of my patented jokes. I feel like if someday we get to have bagels together, I may I may tell that same joke again because I just love saying it. Oh, like Hen of the Woods, Mushroom, and I, we just got like a ping pong table, and in order to like fund that, I did sell a bunch of my like music gear that I wasn't really using because with the way things are, I'm still like not super looking forward to being in crowds. I mean, I love going to see music and shows and like house shows and just like seeing all my friends' bands and everything. And it was like great to get some like music stuff and like learn how to play a little and do a little home recording because it would just like kind of increase the depth of my enjoyment when I like went out to see other people play. Like if I played a little bit. I mean, partly like I encourage people to draw in the stream, just to like help them increase their enjoyment of drawing. But like back to music. So there was a while when I was just like picking up different music gear and like learning about different kind of synthesizers, like learning what like analog or like subtractive synthesis meant. But in the 80s, I think Yamaha came up with something called like frequency modulation synthesis, which is like a little bit, I think there's like a lot of math to it. Like you have all these different operators working on each other, and it's notoriously difficult to do frequency modulation synth, also known for short as like FM synth. And so when I'd be trying to work this thing and having trouble, I would say, what the FM I doing? And that's, I think, my other patented joke. The first one's about bagels. The second one is about synthesizers. I I feel like I've had a couple different SoundClouds. I played a couple shows with a friend of mine. She played cello and like I would play drums, and we would sort of like play these like sort of like cinematic movements.
Bad joke,
like it sort of like swell and crash, and that was like very, very fun. But I have to, and then like I don't know, some of my other friends would like come over and we would like play together. I'm trying to think if any of it is online. And I'm also like getting pretty close to done with this. Like I'm being pretty loose with this color just because things are happening fast. I might be ready to call this done pretty soon here. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, Galuigi, I hope you are feeling better. I did post that JSOM, like Get Well song, which, as far as I can tell, is really more about recovery from alcoholism, which I don't think is your problem. But we could like sort of shift that into like I'm wishing for your COVID recovery. I did see on your Twitter that you had like posted a picture and said that like if anyone gazes at this, like they'll also get it. So I am like averting my gaze for like 5 to 7 days and 2 negative tests. So as soon as the coast is clear, I will go take a look. I don't know, guys. I feel like this is done. I was like so busy like cracking jokes and like being wistful about my my brief music career. Like I feel like it's good to add like a little bit more intense color like at the epicenter here. Yeah. Ooh, nice. Cool. I think we're done. Guys, thanks for being here. I know we had like some technical trouble. So if you tried to watch the stream and the stream quit, thank you for coming back. You know, most of the time it's been pretty solid, so I get a little surprised when that happens. But I'm glad that I stuck with it. I thought about just taking the day off and coming back tomorrow, but I'm pretty happy with how this drawing turned out. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like I usually draw like a little tighter than this, so it's nice to cut loose a little bit. So I'm going to sign this and sign off. Okay, where is my pen? I'm just going to use this. There's like a nice little area here or down here. I'm just looking for where to sign. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. Let's see. So I feel like I do want to do one more plug, not for Sekiro Basic Enemies, but for the me and Mickey stream starting at 8:30 here on my drawing channel a week from today. It got pushed back a couple times because I was traveling and I think Mickey was getting down from like the stream grind and we both kind of needed a break. But I cross my heart that we're not gonna push this one back. We're gonna be there. So I hope you'll be there, and it's gonna be a really fun time. Look at all these fun characters we're gonna draw. I really got to go into training. So that's that. Let me turn that off. Let's go over, give you guys like a last little look at this. Okay, that's another stream. That's another stream. It's fun to hang out with you guys. Let me go look for a raid. Who's on right now? Let's see. I'm going to, a lot of the time I like to raid other art streamers, so I'm going to raid the one with Bear. Okay, hitting raid. Oh, that channel has disabled raids. That's fine. So I should look for another one. Okay, here's another art stream. Raid. A lot of these other streamers I don't know personally, but I do like to watch other channels when I'm not on, just to try to learn a couple things. Okay, we found the raid. We're gonna go look at this kind of digital painter. It looks like they're doing something pretty rad. So say hi to them. Come back next time. And raid now. Bye bye, everybody.